Hey guys, and welcome to the review of the Nintendo 64. We all know the Nintendo 64. I think near enough everyone had one of these as a child. It is a fantastic games console. Well, technically it's a little bit outdated for the time when it first came out, if you think about it, because everyone had a PlayStation, Sega Saturn, because everything was moving on to discs back then, but Nintendo kept strong and were like, we will have cartridges, we do not need discs. However, brief history of this, it was really popular over in England. I think near enough every one of my friends owned a Nintendo 64. I didn't, incidentally. I had a PlayStation, which was just mainly for Final Fantasy VII, really, and Crash Bandicoot. But in Japan, it was a completely different story. They lost their complete market to Sony and Sega. I did say in my other videos that the Sega Saturn had a pretty strong foothold in Japan, but nowhere else, pretty much. Here we go, the amazing Nintendo 64. 4 ports for amazing 4-player action. Again, I like that feature, I like it a lot. Back then anyway, because now everything's wireless, of course. Here we have your expansive memory for games like, I think it was Donkey Kong 64, etc. We have a simple power reset. On a disk drive, with a little door, I like that. And the nice Nintendo brand. This is very dusty. Lovely little console. Oh yes, and we have our clip-in external power. And it does use the AV cable, what the GameCube has. So if you have a GameCube cable, it'll work fine in this. What more could you want? And it's solid as well. You feel like you could smash someone over the head with this and it would still work. Or even drop it out of a window. It'd probably still work. In fact, this could probably kill a Nokia 3410. Now we get straight in with the controller. I never liked this controller. Ever. That's where your rumble pack goes in. And you got a trigger here. I never liked this controller. Even when I was younger, I didn't like it. Got 2 shoulder buttons, got a nice D-pad. Start, maybe, and then you got your 4 switches here, and this horrible joystick. I've never liked... I honestly, if I'm honest, I love the Nintendo 64, but I've never liked the controller at all. Always felt like it was a gun. Pew, pew. Never liked the controller, but still, it works for the games for it. Well, obviously it should do. But yeah, that is the controller. Not a fan. Not a fan. Really not. Ew. Now, the Nintendo 64 does boast a nice catalogue of games. All except this one. Fuck you. I think that's just fallen through my floor. But everyone loves this game. Or if they don't, they should do, because it's a damn fine game. Probably like the first game where Pokemon was seen in 3D. I love this game. Now, for everyone who doesn't know what this is, Lylat Wars, the fantastic Star Fox 64. I have spent many hours on this game, even now, because I have this permanently hooked up anyway. This is always my game of choice. My god. It's going in there. It's going to look pretty. It's staying there. We finally got Earthworm Jim 3, which a lot of people say is very bland, crap controls, crap graphics. I like it. But then again, I like Earthworm Jim. It's just a shame he went to Nintendo. RIP. Now, this is a hidden gem. I like classic platforming games, and this was what it was. Glover. I loved this game. It was fantastic. It was probably one of the first games I ever played, actually, on the Nintendo 64, because I used to play it around my friend's house. And I thought it was the best thing in the world. Until I saw another 3D platforming game, including a bird, and a bear, and a witch. We'll get into that later. Then we got Diddy Kong Racing. Oh my god, this game is fantastic. Look at that logo. That logo, not that one. No, none of that. Just that one. It's very rare. Punny. Or at least it was until like 2001. Then we got Perfect Dark. Another great game. I think it's highly underrated though, because a lot of people was like, meh, meh. And the Pistolet Resistance. GoldenEye 007. What a game. I don't even need to say anything about it, because it just blows your mind, because you all know it, and you all love it. Now, what happened to the bird, the bear, and the witch? They got a really shitty Xbox 360 game that shat on this one and the second one. The second Banjo game is very expensive to get hold of. I do have a Japanese version, but I want to own it in English. This game, though. Now we come to the question that is the Nintendo 64 worth collecting? In my opinion, yes. Yes, it is. You've got a whole host of fantastic games to buy and play, and they're relatively cheap, depending on which ones you're sort of kind of getting into. The Nintendo 64 itself is really easy to get hold of. It's really reasonably priced as well, because there's so many of them. I really recommend that you should get one. It's a fantastic games console with fantastic games, and I just hate that though. That's the only problem. Just get out. Just go away. That's better. Please stay on there. That's better. You stay there. We love you, Sega. But yes, I highly recommend that you buy the Nintendo 64, collect every single game, because they're all pretty damn good. And again, it's another piece of gaming history, because it's the last console that ever saw the light of these beautiful cartridges. Remember to give them a blow. See, that'll work now. So remember to comment, rate, and subscribe. Fist bump, and I'm going to see all of you guys in the next video. Stop it! Get out of here, you!
What could possibly go wrong?